Hey everyone, this is William here from BearableTraders.com, and I want to share with you my recap on AMD today. There were 3 different trades all in one with 4 entries, and I'm so excited to share this with you. It's everything I've been working on materialized in this trade in such a fantastic way. And we're going to do this, we're going to present this as I saw it. So I was looking at AMD. It was not on our gappers list, but I look at this every day and I start with the daily chart. So when I saw this daily chart, I was seeing that recently the moves have been pretty good. It bounced off the 200 and the 50 on the daily chart. It gapped up, it was strong. It gapped up, it was strong. And then we have this reversal candle here. Now, just like this, look at this reversal candle here, and look what it led to. A gap down, and then a dump. A little dump, right? Just a little dump. Not a huge move for AMD. But still, same type of thing. Reversal candle, even though it's not a trend. Gap down, move down. Reversal candle, not a gap down, not a good move down. Okay, so I was just looking at all that, and I was like, okay, this is respecting that. Then on the I was using the 9 and 20 moving averages, and this was all in pre-market, what was going through my head. It respected the 9 and the 20 in the past, but then it lost the 9 and 20, and then it respected the 200 on the daily, and it goes back up. So now these 9 and 20s in my head are no longer resistance or support right now. The price action will not get stalled out on them. In my head is what I'm thinking, because it's already lost it, then it went through it, so they're no longer real resistance or support. So I'm extremely short biased if this gaps down, or if it opens very close to a gap down, somewhere in that range. Even if it doesn't gap all the way, I love this as a reversal on the daily. Okay, so now I'm looking at this pre-market. I'm seeing what I've been talking about in every single recap here, this harmonious chart. I want to trade with no support or resistance against me. So on all the time frames at this moment, the price action was below everything. I didn't have everything perfectly crossed in the way I want it, but I am underneath all the price action except on this 60-minute chart, and I saw this in the moment. Whoops. So right here when I made this trade, I zoomed out. I was like, oh, I know it's not perfect because I'm on the 60 on the 200 and the 50 is down here. But that didn't keep me from the trade because everything else was screaming at me, and I gotta start to learn how to take these trades. If there's only one layer of support and that's it, and I don't think it's incredibly strong because I have everything else going with me, that's a trade I should take. So I traded short in the pre-market, and I did small share size because I don't usually trade in pre-market. So that's entry number 1 is the harmonious chart trading with all the support, okay? And my stop is above me. I'll get to my stop later. Okay, so now I'm seeing it, and let's look at the 1-minute chart. Okay, the market opens incredibly strong. Now, to most of us and new traders who aren't part of chat rooms, they're going to see this with 500 shares, 500,000 shares of volume, and they're going to think, wow, this is strong. If they're only looking at the 1 and 5, they're thinking, look at that 1 minute. That's going up. Okay, look at this look at the 5 minute. The 5 minute was going up and it was breaking all these levels, right? And so you're gonna go long. Not you, but many traders, including me in the past, we're gonna go long. But now that I'm seeing the charts completely different, I made a trade that I would have never done in the past. I was looking at the 15 and I saw this 50. This is being respected. The 50 on the 15. It's support, it lost it, and then in the pre-market, I actually saw it's holding. It dumped from here. It hit it and it goes down. Gets a wick, dumps it. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that is the resistance. That's the active resistance I'm looking for. So if we go to the 15-minute chart, look at this. It goes up to the resistance that I got on my 50-minute chart, and then it's starting to go down. So again, go back to this 1-minute chart. Look at this. The 1-minute chart is screaming along, but it was never along. I have to be unlucky to have that bust through all the levels of resistance, and I can get unlucky all the time, and I can be wrong. As long as I stop out, then it's no problem to be wrong. But in this case, I was not wrong. Okay? The 50 on the 15 acted as the resistance here. And when I saw it go up, there's no way I was doing anything until it broke through with actual momentum, 23.50, and it started to lose the moving averages. And then when I saw it go down and the level 2 was lighting up with red selling, it's like, it's going to bounce. And so then I got in on the second minute after a gigantic 1 minute candle that was screaming long. I saw that it was never a long. I was so excited to see that. Okay. And then on the 2 minute chart, once this started to form, I was like, all right, I had my harmonious chart strategy that's still in play. I got it up here at potentially the top because it was the 50 on the 15. So I'm sitting good. I'm happy. It's starting to go down. And then I see this. I was like, oh my God, this is a 2 minute or ORB down. And I love it because it lines up with the harmonious chart. A 2 minute ORB down potentially that has different moving averages it has to bust through on the different charts is not as good. But right here at this moment on all the charts, there was no support. Okay. So then on the 2 minute, I get in more for the break of the body, and then right at the break of the wick when I saw there was no way it was holding, I get in again. So I got 4 entries on this, but they're not willy-nilly averaging in. They're not averaging down or up. They're all specific setups, and they just happen to be on one stock before I've exited on that stock. So let me just scroll forward a bit on all of them so you can see what happened there. And then the partialing is just as important. We need to partial out correctly. So I partial out first. I see this one layer of support, so I get out right there on the 200 on the 15, which is the 50 on the 60. Mathematically, they're the same. So that's my first area of partialing. And then on the 2 minute, I see that it went up to view up, it went down. I wanted to partial out again to make sure it wasn't a double bottom. So I got out right before a double bottom could have happened. Okay. Then I got out at an even $1.23, and I put that fill order at 23.01, and I actually got filled. Maybe it was 23.02. It was somewhere in that range. What was it? 23.02. Because I know these things just bounce off. At this point, I had my stop right at this level, which was around my break even, because I went in heaviest here. And after a 2 minute orb, for me to be wrong, it's got to break up past that 2 minute entry point. So my break even, my stop happened to be the break even, but it was more at this technical level of the 2 minute orb failing at that point, which had to bust through this and a whole lot of resistance, and it never did. So then let's just go forward more. So then I started putting limit sells. And I know how this price action works. When it busts through a hard level of an even dollar, it usually waves up and then it waves back down. You get a little bust, you go back up to the resistance, and you go back down. They move in waves, as Robert H. likes to say and talk about, and this is just waving down, not getting scared on these pullbacks here. And then let's just look at the 15-minute chart here. So then finally I got out right there, and then I put a range order that never got filled for 22.82. So then when I got back to the house, which I don't usually do range orders, but I decided to do it today, I saw that it wasn't going to get filled, so I just got out right at that last time. So that was me trying to use the overall picture. And again, when we saw this daily chart, remember this one? Remember this one? Remember this one, right? This one didn't work out perfectly. This one did. This one's not really the same because it's not of a trend, but this trend. Then you get the reversal candle. You get one that didn't open. It didn't gap down. It basically opened where it closed, where is why it's not on our scanners. And again, I want to reiterate this long right here. That's a tough long. That's a tough short, I mean. Okay? And why did we do that? Right there. Because the resistance that proved itself to be true. So I keep asking myself, and this is a real question I hope you can comment about. Am I lucky? Or am I reading this chart correctly? Okay? shorting on this 1 minute candle, did I get lucky or did it actually find support here? Is this 2 minute ORB way more likely to hold true if there's no support, or am I lucky again? And I'm not being facetious on that question. I'm actually wanting some other eyes to see what they see in this chart. Am I just making it up and next time I try this, maybe the exact opposite will happen? Or does the idea that support is out of the way greatly increases my chances because people aren't buying at a support against me, they're not profiting at a support against me, they're not choosing to avoid a trade against me? So please comment below and let's I really am curious what other people think about this, because it'll make my trading better, and hopefully by sharing this you'll know what other people see and it can improve your trading. Not because at all you do anything you see here, maybe you see say it's garbage and you avoid it, but then you know how other people trade and it can influence your trading. So thank you very much and hope to read your comments.